had a Zoom call with my broker this morning, and there's a lot of talk about this looming recession. There's indicators. So we're talking about the GDP, negative GDP. We've already seen 1 quarter of negative GDP, and if there's 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP, that's a recession. So that's what qualifies. So what will that do for the housing market? I mean, I can tell you what we're seeing right now. I just posted not even 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, that we had 1,450 homes on the entire MLS. That's almost all of Utah. And those homes were built in standing homes, they're active listings. Now we're almost double that. So, and that's pretty much coming from the Fed raising the rates. So we're now looking at 5 to 5.5% 30-year fixed mortgage rate. And that really has an impact on what people can afford. We're talking like for every 1% increase in the mortgage rate, that is a decrease in buying power of about 11%. So, we've seen maybe a 2% increase in the last 3 months of mortgage rates, 3 or 4 months. So that's 22% less home somebody can afford. I was just looking on the MLS, and there's like a ton of reductions. So price reductions I'm talking about. So for all those people that I was working with, and they wanted to list their homes, but they said, we got nowhere to go if we sell right now. Well, there's a lot more options on the MLS right now, a lot more choices. Don't get me wrong, it's still a seller's market. We still have a shortage. It's just that people can't afford to pay the current mortgage rates, which, amazing, because it is still kind of 5.5 compared to where rates have been before, but the home prices are so much more expensive. So when I bought my house 20 years ago, it was a 7.25 interest rate, but the house value prices were a lot cheaper. So what I would say is, yes, this is a buying window, because we know that the rates are going to go up even higher in the next 6 months. We'll see, by the end of the year, we could be over 6% easily, because they're trying to, the Fed's trying to counter this inflation situation. I don't know how much it's going to work, but what always happens is when there's a recession, they lower the rates back down to try and boost the economy. And so if you can get in to the house that you're looking for right now, and with a lot more options on the market, sure, you're going to be, starting out your mortgage at probably above 5%, but you can refinance and maybe you end up with like a 28 years at a 3%, but the first 2 years were like 5.5. So if you can afford it, if you can like qualify to get that house that you really want right now, and maybe you can even find a deal, then get in there. But what do you think is going to happen? You think we're going to see a recession? What do you think is going to happen with people's jobs? I mean, we've got right now unlimited amounts of jobs available. People, there's a shortage of people for the jobs. So I don't know how this is going to work out. We're going to see people suddenly not have job opportunities, or I don't know. So tell me what you think is going to happen. I'm curious to hear your opinion. But if you are interested in looking for the property you've been wanting to move to, or selling your house, get in touch with me or just ask me questions. We'll try and work out something. I just had a client who was only 22 buy her first property. We just closed last week, and you have to start somewhere. You got to get maybe a townhome or a condo, but she's going to turn that into a rental down the road. And I'm just like amazed at the people that are really going after it. They're going after it at a young age, and it can be done. So encourage your kids, get them started early, because owning real estate is always a good idea. It might lose value in the short term, but in the long run, it's always, right now, it's the greatest net worth asset that Americans own. Anywhere, the continent, I guess you could say, pretty much the world, net worth has increased incredibly by basically from their real estate alone, whether it's their primary residence or secondary home or maybe investment properties, but most people's net worth is really coming from their property, their real estate. So get in fast, own real estate. But let me know what you think. Have a good one.